Welcome back, everyone. Today I come to you with some bad news, but also lots and lots of good news. The bad news is that I just keep getting hurt. I keep getting more and more injuries. After my rhomboid, which is now kind of healed up a bit, I couldn't move my neck for about 3 days at all. And then I gradually got my range of motion back until just this week on Tuesday. I think this is, right now we're sitting at 2 weeks ahead of what you're watching. I tested out all 6 apparatus and I'm definitely not good. My finger still hurts, but I'm good to go around for Oceania, so very happy about that. But then the other thing that happened was I took just a quick couple of turns on rings on Monday, and my bicep tendon flared up a fair amount to the point where even just hanging on the P-bars or on the high bar, especially on the rings, hurts like hell. So what I did on the Tuesday, where I was planning to do a run through earlier this week, I just did some basic stuff on rings instead of sending a full routine. So as you can tell in the video, this week was all about testing out my finger to see how bad it was and what I could do. And it didn't stop me from testing out my flares. I think it's about time I start putting those flares on the handles. So that's the bad news, that it's those wintertime niggles every single winter. The shoulders start to hurt, the calves and the Achilles start to hurt, because we all know the body's not so great during cold temperatures. Not that it gets cold in New Zealand, but hey, it is what it is. I'm not good with the cold mixing with gymnastics. Now on to the good news. The good news is we have qualified an entire New Zealand men's gymnastics team to the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. For me, this is also more special because 3 of my own guys that I've been coaching for the last few years have made the team together with myself. Ethan, of course, now is training in Penn State, but nevertheless, I did work with him for a few years, so it still feels very special that our small little gymnastics club, with its 5 or 6 or so senior athletes, has made up 4 of the 5 man team going to the Commonwealth Games. So especially exciting for Sam and Will. It'll be the first Commonwealth Games, second Commonwealth Games for Ethan, 5th Commonwealth Games for myself, and first Commonwealth Games for Jordan O'Connell-Ince from Christchurch. I may have mentioned last week that Will just got sick with COVID, so he's coming out of isolation tomorrow on Saturday. He's going to have 2 sessions on Saturday and Sunday, so one session on Saturday, 1 session on Sunday, 2 sessions total, and then off we go on Monday to Oceania Championships, our New Zealand World Championships qualifier. In the event that we don't win, which is looking all the more likely as it is, the top 2 all-rounders will qualify to World Championships from New Zealand. Obviously, the top team out of Australia and New Zealand sends a full team to this year's Worlds, but the team that places second gets to send the top 2 all-rounders from Oceania Championships. As it stood, it was myself and Will that were shooting for all-round. So now we don't even know what the situation is with how Will is going to be able to prepare and how many apparatus he's going to be able to do. So it might just be me doing the all-round. Fingers crossed Will can still put something together, but I know everybody's all excited now with the extra incentive after the Com Games inspirational moment. It was a good day. The announcement was just yesterday on Thursday. There was TV crews there, there was newspapers, so we got our own little share of fame. And it's always nice to be appreciated and recognized for all the hard work you put in. The other piece of good news, which I'm probably just as stoked about, my drone came. The DJI Mini 2. I gave it a spin yesterday. I needed some help from good old Cameron Beaton. I didn't know that you had to click the 2 joysticks in to actually start the propellers. I was sitting there like an idiot pressing the up button to try and make it go up, and it wasn't moving, so I thought, is my drone broken? But no, I just should have read the instructions a bit better. Let me know if you're sick and tired of seeing the same old flares over and over again. To be honest, like, I probably take 10, well, not happy with that one. I probably take 10 turns or so of flares on my pommel horse sessions, but I only put kind of my best one. So if you're sick of the flares, let me know and I'll stop posting them. Thursday, looks like I'm on hard. So yeah, from here on out, I'll try using the drone a little bit more. Today we're competing. Today is the TriStar Championships. There's lots going on right now. TriStar Championships, the seniors compete Friday, Sunday. Oceania boys are going to do just a couple of apparatus today, including myself. I'm thinking P-bars and high bar. And we're not going to compete Sunday as we're leaving on the Monday to save our bodies a bit. So I'll see how I feel. I'm planning on doing a full send P-bar routine, do the full difficulty, and honestly, I'm thinking of just doing the full difficulty high bar routine as well, even though I haven't made a routine, ever, actually. But you know, always good to try. Ben Stein has made some gains, which you'll see in the coming coaches' corners. Yesterday, Ben did his first Coleman over hard without a mat slide, and he actually did it after the Yamawaki. So high bar gains are coming along at TriStar. That's been my Achilles heel for a long time. I've missed that front double twist up at Oceania Championships. I've messed it up in the Commonwealth Games. I've messed it up multiple times. I need to stop messing it up. But I think that's all the major news out of the way. Gonna be a huge week coming up with Oceanias. I decided to change my run-up for 1.5 punch and go from like a hurdle step instead of taking 2 steps run-up. I was finding myself landing out of balance too often, going from 2 steps. So I thought I'd do it from 1 step, and that felt a bit more secure. I got to put in more effort into the round off to turn that 1.5 over. There again, screwing up the front full. But I'm pretty happy going from 1 step. As it stands, I've tested out all of my skills. I've made all the skills that in my routines. The biggest problems were on pommel horse single handle stuff, so travel ups, Nagyas, because you have to put your finger in a bit of an awkward way when you put it on the handle, and it pushed it in a direction that I injured it at Christchurch. And then the other big pain was doing underbar work on P-bars. So all of that I got sussed out this week. I tested it all out. I at least made one of everything, which is by no means enough, but you know, it is what it is, and I don't want to do too many and re-injure myself. I'd rather just save it for the competitions. But do you notice those flares are getting wider? Surely they're getting wider. Maybe I'm being biased because I love flares so much, but those look like they're getting wider to me. It's probably because I was wearing the Dragon Ball Z t-shirt. You put on the Dragon Ball Z t-shirt, everything becomes better. You can feel your power level rising to over 9,000, to Super Saiyan 5. And apparently Dragon Ball Z is coming out with a new season. There's Dragon Ball Z, GT, Super, which I got through a couple of years ago, and apparently now there's going to be another one. I'm very grown up. I'm 30 years old, and I'm watching Dragon Ball for motivation. Whatever works, works. So I've taken out the Kip Cross for a Kip. Massive amount of effort reduced for only 0.1 less in difficulty, and of course the Kip out is going to get less deductions than a Kip across. And this must be twisting the rhomboid, so it looks like already at this stage. Oh no, this is before the rhomboid, because I saw I did crosses earlier that week. I think I messed the rhomboid up on the week after this one. Vault was cranking that week. Yeah, so the week after this one, I pretty much didn't train at all. Rough build up, as it always is. And I remember watching my Oceania week last year, and I was getting really frustrated on pommel horse. And you'll see in a couple weeks time, on Tuesday, oh my god, I screamed. I'm not going to be able to put in all of those clips because I was literally like losing my temper. I'm pretty sure I flicked the pommel horse off a couple times. I fell, I squirmed, I yelled, far out. But I figure I'm all alone, so sometimes it's okay to release your emotional energy. If you keep it all pent up all the time, that can't be a good thing either. There was one family friend that told me one time that it's healthy to go into the middle of a forest and just scream at the top of your lungs as loud as you can. And I actually went and did it once. It felt a bit strange, but I don't know. Why not? We're all holding frustrations. Let's face it. Life is difficult. You never get quite what you want. So you gotta go out to the middle of the woods and you gotta scream at the top of your lungs. Otherwise though, I do try to monitor my emotional energy, and I find that if you get onto it straight away, so if you notice the moment your solar plexus, your emotional center is starting to flare up or get frustrated, deal with it straight away so that it doesn't build a momentum. Once it builds a momentum, once it starts moving, the frustration is really difficult, and it takes a long time to settle it back down. John, I see you waving at the camera. I saw that. John loves trolling the camera. And this looks like it was the first time of me testing releases after hurting my fingers. So I decided to do it over soft with a mat slide because it had been a couple weeks, I think, since Christchurch, pretty much 2 weeks. So of course after a long time off, you don't want to just send it with no mats or no safety. We also need a new bar. That bar is quite hard to work on compared to the Spieth one. The Spieth bar bounces you much more. Planche gain's coming. Too bad I've lost it all because I haven't conditioned for 2 weeks. So I decided to work on my front layouts to a big stack to just feel that entrance from the handspring, and work on feeling my hip position during the takeoff. The reason I do that whippy little front full instead of the front double forward dismount is because I kind of flip into or better said, I pike down into the flip too much. so it ends up just kind of whipping down instead of getting a solid takeoff. And I feel that I had a bad take. Oh yeah, pumped up because I felt the twisties coming along, and I managed to hold it together and just do a whip layout. So as you can see here, I think I did one whip layout, one whip 2.5, one whip layout, one whip 2.5 to work on making sure I'm twisting when I want to twist, and I'm doing a layout when I want to lay out. And Saturdays are always fun with the gang. So that's it for this week. Enjoy the rest of the video. Coach's Corner, I think, should be a bit longer to make up for a shorter video. I think the short videos are going to come back on now that I got the drone. I got to still figure out a couple things. I think I need an SD card. Otherwise, I'm going to get a low-res version of the video on my cell phone, which I'll use anyway. But thanks for watching. Until next time.
Nice, hey. Oh. Nice. Yeah.